trying to book him, and they're dragging his ass like up, handcuffed behind his back and his feet, picked him up by his arms and his feet, walking him through the unit. Just walking him through the unit. Hey guys, welcome back to All City Motivation. Today we're going to talk about what happens when the CERT team comes and flips your cell. So yesterday's video we talked about all the programs you could do to reduce your sentence if you did catch a case and you did get sent to the penitentiary like I did. There is other things that happen while you're in there, one of them being the CERT team. So the CERT team is a certified emergency response team that comes in and they basically have the whole unit on lockdown wherever you're at. To give you perspective, so you got this group of individuals wearing all black, like they some SWAT type shit, you know what I mean? And come up to your cell, open your door, tell you and your cellie to get down to your boxes, to strip down, right? And then one by one they take you, and they make you strip all the way down. You do have to do the whole squat and cough shit to see if you're hiding anything. Surely not. And then they continue to toss your cell, so you could have stuff everywhere, organized, nice, neat. So like me myself, I had a store. Talk about that in another video, what a store can do for you, and the downsides and upsides of one. But like you could have a store, so like me, so like underneath my bunk, you know what I mean, I had like soda popping bottles and stuff, you know what I mean. You have a Foot Locker full of like all your soups and all, you know, all your chips, everything else, your hygiene, everything could be in there. That shit is gonna be everywhere, because they're ripping up every little nook and cranny to see where you are possibly hiding something. It could be something as simple as tobacco, which could be a small little write-up, or it could be something as big as like a tattoo needle. A tattoo needle will get you what's called a Class X write-up. Class X write-up is day for day, level 1, and for 365 days, so for a year. For a year, you get no good time. So if I were to get caught with a needle for perspective, since I only did 4.5 on my 10, I would have done 5.5 on my 10, because it took me that year to gain that level to be able to get those days. See what I'm saying? So anyway, so CERT team comes through, you know, you get down in your boxes, they check you, they check your cellie, they tear up your cell, and then you have to stand there. You have to stand there until they're done. Until they're done with the whole unit. And then it's locked down, you ain't going outside, you're getting a sack lunch brought to you, so you might be getting a bologna sandwich and an orange. You know what I mean? You know, which really don't sound too great, but sometimes it's even better than the food they serve in the kitchen. Imagine that. So CERT team gets done doing what they're doing. Craziest thing I saw on the CERT team, dude had the tattoo guy on the unit got busted, got caught with, like, you know, all his needles that he had freshly sharpened for each individual. You know, safety first, don't want to get no hep C. They had all his needles and everything, so they're trying to book him, and they're dragging his ass like up, handcuffed behind his back and his feet, picked him up by his arms and his feet, walking him through the unit. Just walking him through the unit, saying if any of y'all got anything right now, better give it up. You're gonna end up like this guy. We're like, damn! It was crazy. It was absolutely wild. But that's what happens when the CERT team shows up. That's one thing that you can expect periodically, especially if there hasn't been no crazy behavior, no crazy movement from the DOC guards. If there hasn't been no activity that, or really honestly, if there hasn't been nobody telling, then you ain't gonna have any issues really on the unit. As long as peace is amongst the unit, as long as they don't see people getting flopping out, getting high. Next thing you know, Joe Blow came in here and I didn't have this tattoo, but then a week later and everything, they say no, they see that I have that tattoo, they're gonna be like, oh, what the hell? You know what I mean? So, so that CERT team come rip through that unit. Yeah, like, so you gotta be creative. I mean, creative when you want to hide anything. I'm not going to disclose too much and everything about how I hid anything, just because I don't want these tactics to be known to the point to where, say, some individual from the State Department watches my video and everything and says, oh, we need to check that. You mean, that's dry snitching. I ain't dry snitching on nobody. So, but yeah, guys, one thing you don't want to deal with is the CERT team. If you keep your nose clean and your head right and mind your business, and do what you are supposed to do, and don't cause no issues, don't have nothing you're supposed to have. You mean, you don't ever want to be what's classified as the crash test dummy. The crash test dummy and everything basically is putting on the helmet. You hear people say he put on the helmet. Putting on the helmet because that individual is probably might be sitting on a pound of tobacco in his mouth. You know what I mean? He could be doing anything. He could be the one to go to pull a move. He could be the one that has to go stand outside in the hallway and yell jigger out. Jigger means keys, because the keys jingle. I mean, they said jigger out when the CO's coming. You know what I mean? Let everybody in the unit know, like, hey, if you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing, you need to put it up because they're on their way. So, I mean, there's all types of things that involves with that aspect. You know what I mean? And you just don't want to be a part of that. You know what I mean? It's stressful. You see me run my name, stressed just thinking about it. I'm stressed. I've been through one CERT team rush like that at Veneta, and then we went through another one because an inmate escaped, and that's a crazy story. I have to tell you all that story. That story about the inmate escaping, freaking bananas. It was over a chick, and a guard was sleeping with his chick. Yeah, bro. Imagine that. It's kind of wild. But they're over there, and then I got when I hit Elk City, it really wasn't no CERT, nothing. They just come and rip you. If you're bunkmate, let's say you and my cellie, so you my cellie, you live up above me because I ain't getting up on the top bunk. You live above me and everything, and you got too high out on the rec yard. You know what I mean? And you flopped out, and smoked some K2 spice, whatever you want to call it, deuce. And flopped out, they're gonna come not only rip your stuff up, but they're gonna rip my stuff up too. You know what I mean? That could cause problems with your cellie too. Keep that in mind. But yeah, so I mean, that's what happens when you deal with like a CERT team. You know what I mean? But I dealt with that at Veneta. Didn't really deal with that at Elk City unless somebody flopped out. Went to Hollis, a little hole in the wall place in the state in the corner. Ain't nothing really there. Our work center was above the city police department. Really weird. Did a lot of DOT walking with that. And then when I got to Avalon, which is Tulsa, Avalon has a reputation, and people getting their bunks ripped up, packed up, shipped up back to jail and everything for catching new charges and all that all the time. So I mean, those are all individual stories though, yo. You know what I mean? So I could tell you stories from each individual place, which we will get to. So stay tuned for that. So just remember, keep your nose clean, keep your mind right. As long as you have the right mind state, you can make it through anything. As long as you think you're positive, making sure you just keep your head down, do what you need to do, you got it. But I appreciate y'all for coming back, checking in on today's video. Be ready for the next one tomorrow. Y'all have a good one.